Plaintiff Larry Levy says he met the defendant 10 years ago when they worked together. Larry claims he asked the defendant to work with him on another project, and while working together, Larry gave him a loan. Larry's suing because the defendant has yet to repay him. Defendant Chris Avina says when he agreed to work for Larry, he agreed to split the profits evenly with Chris. However, Larry breached that agreement and never paid Chris for his work, so he's countersuing.
Start with you.
Well, I met Chris Avina about 10 years ago. He worked on a project with me, and then we hadn't seen each other in a number of years. And recently I started another project, and I contacted Chris. Of course, we were kind of like Facebook friends, and he said that he would be interested in working with me on it. And,
doing what?
It's a technology-related item. It's going for a patent right now. It has to do with heating gloves.
Okay.
And Chris was interested in it, and we worked on it for a little bit. And
What was the agreement before you began working on it?
there wasn't any agreement.
Oh, there was no agreement to pay him?
No, he thought, no.
He's
he thought
volunteering?
He would help. Correct. He thought he would help me on it and see where it went.
Okay, he was volunteering?
Yes, sir.
Okay. He agreed to volunteer to work for you?
Correct.
All right, with
And
nothing in the future promised, just...
Yes, I told him, let's see how it goes, and I would like to bring you in as a partner on it somewhere down the line.
That is an agreement.
Yeah, oh, yeah, it was.
That's not volunteering.
No.
That's doing just what you're doing.
Correct.
You're spending your time
Correct.
working for free
Correct.
until
Till the end.
it works out.
That's correct.
That's an agreement.
Well, there wasn't any pay structure, that's what I meant on it, except for the end of
All
the
right,
project.
what was to happen in the end?
I would give him a piece of it. And
You didn't say what piece?
No, we hadn't discussed that.
Plaintiff Larry Levy worked with the defendant, who claims Larry never paid him for his services.
What was the agreement in exchange for you to help him build his product? What was the agreement?
That we'd split the deal, that we'd, divide it, and that I would get half and he would get half.
You would invest your time.
I'd invest my time for that.
And get half as a result.
Yes, Your Honor.
That's not correct, Your Honor.
And you don't know how much. You're not telling me how much.
No.
He's very clear. He says half. It took you a while to finally admit that, yes, you were to compensate him with partial ownership. He's very clear on the amount of ownership, which is a reasonable approach. You all work to build a business together. It's half and half in many instances. In this instance, it's your idea, so you would probably get more of a share. But you don't know because you didn't discuss the share.
That's
He
correct.
says you did discuss it. I'm more inclined to believe him because most people won't go into business with someone without knowing what share they're going to own.
Mm-hmm.
So, is there any evidence on the percentage of ownership?
No percentage is mentioned anywhere, Your Honor.
It was a verbal
Yes,
contract.
it's mentioned by him. What are you talking about?
No percent. No, he says 50%. We never spoke about 50%.
But
That
you
never
spoke
happened.
about a percentage.
Absolutely.
He was going to help build your business. He was going to do it without receiving one dime up front. But he was going to receive a portion of the business.
Correct.
Do you know how much that was?
Depends how he performed.
Okay. So if he performed excellently, what would he get?
20%.
If he performed poorly, what would he get?
What he did.
No.
is that
You
much
would
of the
got
whole thing.
percentages now. If he performed poorly, what would he get? Now I got you. You're telling me something that you didn't tell me
okay.
before. If he performed excellently, he would get 20% of the business that he helped build. If he performed poorly, what percent would he get?
Nothing.
Nothing. He would just have worked for free. Good enough. All right. So, tell me why you're suing him.
I'm suing him because he came to me and wanted to borrow money because he couldn't pay his rent.
Wonder why.
Good question.
When did he do that,
Perhaps
sir?
he couldn't perform,
I know. When did he
it.
do that? When did
Okay,
he
he
come
did
to
that-
you for
he-
a loan?
In June.
And when was he to repay? It was for how much again?
$2,500.
And when was he to repay it?
In 45 days from that date of June 7th.
All right. And how much have you received? Nothing?
Nothing.
And what has he said?
He said he couldn't pay me, and he wanted a percentage of the business. We don't even have a company established, so there's really nothing to pay him on except some poor products that I
You
received.
said he asked for the percentage. You're saying he asked for the cash?
No.
In exchange for what you owe,
money-
what he owed you.
Yeah, the money
He's
you
saying
borrowed.
deduct it from
Yes.
my percentage.
Correct.
Okay. And what is the unreturned property?
A sewing machine and some products, some gloves that I had given him, which related to the product.
All right. And how much worth? I guess it's $150.
About $150.
All right, for products related to this business. Sir, what do you say? He says you borrowed $2,500 and you were to repay it within 45 days. He says you refused to do so. You're asking him to deduct it from the business in which you are 50% owner. He says 20%. What type of job did he do? Let's start there first. Did he do an excellent job?
He did a lousy job.
All right, so you get 0, according to him.
Oh.
All right. That's what you said.
Oh, I know. Well,
0.
he's
He
worked
gets
on it for
0.
almost a year,
All right.
and what he's given me is
He worked a
really nothing.
year.
Almost.
How much? How long?
Well, you have to understand
How
what
long
he
did he
gave me.
work on this business?
Oh, I don't, 8 months.
Okay, and you get 0.
For almost
I bet
zero
you'll do a
work.
better job next time.
Yeah.
Going into business with somebody. He was coming in late, everything, wasn't he? All right, sir. So what do you say to the loan? We start there, and then we can get on your counterclaim for the breach of contract. But first, we have to resolve the issue of the loan. Did you borrow $2,500 from him?
I did. And
Did you agree to repay in 45 days?
what I had said in the text message is that, you know,
Did you all have a written agreement
No.
for the $2,500, sir?
No. I asked him.
Well, I have a canceled check, which I wrote on it, loaned for 45 days, and text
Okay,
message.
let's see it.
Plaintiff Larry Levy worked with the defendant, who claims Larry never paid him for his services.
At the start of this transaction or agreement, you knew it was a loan, and that's what it says here.
Okay. Yeah, we didn't discuss the terms of it. I had sent
All right,
it.
he wrote it on the check,
I
so-
told him I didn't see the check. So I mean, I saw the check, but I didn't read the
Memo section. Go ahead.
My fault. So yeah, I guess. I mean, I obviously wanted to pay him, and I actually, I didn't even think about all.
And
this
your
aspect,
defense
but I did
is subtracted
pay
from what you owe me
Exactly.
as 50% owner of this company.
Because he-
all right, and did he agree to that?
No, because
All right, so if he didn't agree to that, we have to stick to this agreement. Yes.
What the situation was is I had said I will pay you, and he wanted me to put it in writing, like the terms of me paying him back, and I said that's fine. I have no problem paying you back.
Okay.
I have no problem putting that in writing. But before we do that, let's put in writing our business agreement. And that's all I asked. I wanted
Did
to be
he
reasonable,
refuse?
and he refused. And he
All
said
right.
that my
So,
work was crap.
We
Had
got to
no
conclude
agreement.
that you owe, and then we'll see what happens with your counterclaim, which is separate. Also, the $150 worth of equipment. That
I'll return that, no problem.
you do have it, and you'll return it?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, we'll give you 30 days to return that. So let's get to your counterclaim. You want $3,000, saying that he breached his contract with you, and the contract you're referring to is the 50% ownership.
Exactly. Him
All right.
saying that I don't, like, my work was worth nothing, and after 8 months of him being quite happy working with me, having no problem keeping on working.
Oh, I
sending
wouldn't
me
call it
smiley
that.
faces in text messages, being like,
Yeah.
continuing the relationship.
How did you come up with the number 3,000?
You know, the technical aspects that I had to deal with. I did a lot of 3D designs. Do some engineering design.
Do you have any of the work product or a list of the things you did?
Yes, it's in my.
Have it with you today?
I have like all of the
All right,
patent
let's see what
searching,
you have.
and I have some images of the actual prototypes
Okay,
that I had
let's see
made.
what you have. And he says you did work. He says it was just a poor job, so therefore he doesn't intend to give you a dime after that 8 months worth of work. And that percentage of the business
Well,
he
I
promised
gave
you.
him $500 when we started.
But you
know,
won't give him his
just-
percentage of the business.
Darn
even
right.
though you admit that he worked
Correct.
8 months. All right. The question is, was that a contract? And based on the testimony I've heard, I'm quite convinced that there was a contract, and his interest in this business that will continue, I'm sure, even if it's not 50%, it's at least 20%. And he'll probably lose a lot more than he's going to get today, because I'm sure you intend for it to be successful, right? You might make millions of dollars.
Not based on his work.
I understand.
Yeah,
But you
okay.
might make millions of
Okay.
dollars. So if you make 10 million, he's losing at least 2 million. So you want 3,000 or you want 2 million?
I like your math.
Take the
Which
2
one you
million.
want?
Please, 2 million. I'll take that.
Yeah, I
You
like
didn't
your
sue
math.
for that.
And I'll pay
All
him-
I can give you is what
I'll pay him his
sued
$2,500
for.
back.
I'll give you, and this is serious because this is a legally binding arbitration hearing. I'll grant you $3,000 without prejudice, meaning you can still go to a court of higher jurisdiction and sue for the rest of your money within the statute of limitations. And another judge will decide based on perhaps the projections. That judge will have his clerk look at this. They'll look at the performance thus far, what the current value of that business is, and they'll give you that percentage. I'll grant you your judgment as well. So $2,500 is your cash judgment. He's going to return your property. If he doesn't within 30 days, then you get the balance of $150. And I'll grant you your $3,000 without prejudice, meaning if you go and sue at a court of higher jurisdiction, whatever that judge gets you, that judge may deduct this $3,000 that you are receiving. All right, good luck to you both.